A very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. Florida Cricket Oval is the venue. East African Safari T20 Cup is the tournament. Second encounter of game day one of between Kilimanjaro and Elgon. And let's see what happened at the toss.
Good afternoon and welcome to the second game on match day one of the East African Safari T20 Cup here at Florida Cricket Oval. It's a clash between Mountain Kilimanjaro and Mountain Elgon. I have the two captains here with me, the captain from Mountain Kilimanjaro, Robert Owili. I have the captain from Mountain Elgon, Emmanuel Tujuche, and the match umpire, Reston Alumans. We are here for the toss. Heads is the call. And heads is on top. Emma, please come through. You have won the toss. What are you going to be doing first and why?
We're going to bowl first. We look at the wicket is still holding. It's first break it, and then we can be able to come and at least we limit them to a minimum score of around 70, 80, and then we come and chase it.
What do you look forward in this tournament coming into your very first game and seeing that the team that played in the morning managed to defend 92 runs?
We're coming into this tournament. We're looking at if we can be able to play the finals at the end of this. So we need to be able to play all our games in a very nice way, and then, yeah, hopefully we get there.
Thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
Robert, if you had gotten a chance of winning the toss, what were you going to do first and why?
Actually, if we had won the toss, we had decided to bowl first because in the morning when guys bowled, at least they limited the batting team to 93 because of the ground it was holding.
So now that you're going to bat first, what total do you look at and what do you look forward into this tournament?
At least I think 150 is defendable here.
Thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
Well, that is the news coming from the center. Mountain Elgon has won the toss and opted to bowl first.
That was Ivan out there in the center. Elgon winning the toss and choosing to bowl first. My name is Solomon Lubamachigozi and I will be taking you through the afternoon. Yes, it is the East African Safari T20 Cup, proudly brought to you by Kingsley Children's Medical Center in Mukono, Deep End Sports Media, the broadcasting and streaming partners, Mukono Cricket Community, Cricket Uganda, and Alphabet. After a very exciting encounter in the morning between Satima and Meru, where victory was by 1 run, we expect another interesting encounter between Kilimanjaro and Elgon. And first ball coming up. Robert Owili on strike. Robert Owili always comes at the top of the order. Hard hitting, spin starts us off, mistimed, but that should be 2 runs there. Unable to middle it well, but picking up 2. As we know that the score of this ground being about 130 and 140. Quick running in there for another one to Robert Owili. Ali Balidawa, the opening bowler, makes some changes, brings in covers, boundary riders at long on and did mid-wicket while they navigate the fielding restrictions under the power play. Right on the money and draws the man forward. Goes over the head of the man at point. Picks up 2 valuable runs. shapes well to be able to get it above the man who was on the inner ring. Picks up another single to one ball shot by Ali Balidawa. 6 runs coming off that first over. 6 for no loss for Kilimanjaro. Asked to post a score by Elgon, the men in green and blue. Emma Trijuche, captain of Elgon, and Robert Owili, captain of Kilimanjaro. The teams in this East African Safari Tournament taken from the mountain ranges across the East African region. 6 teams we have, including Meru, Satima, Kilimanjaro, and Elgon, right out there in the middle. And tomorrow morning we will be seeing Renzori and Karisimbi. Tournament will be played on a round robin format, and the top 4 teams will contest the semi-finals. Number 1 taking on number 3 on the log, and number 2 taking on number 4 to pick the sides that will contest the final. Lovely day out here for cricket in the deep confines of the Nkokonjero region. Ogenrod Kenneth will come from the highway end, his preferred side, but starts off with one angling to the leg side, called wide by umpire Nachibule Elizabeth, working together with Reston Alumansi. These two on their journey to becoming international umpires. And those should be their aspirations, and you always have to start somewhere. Comes right arm round to Owidi. Plays it off his hips to pick up another single. These players have played against each other in various tournaments, some organized by Cricket Uganda and others organized by Mukono Cricket Community. So they know one another quite well and have been able to work out the strengths and weaknesses of each other. A mild appeal there as that ball was wrapping the legs of the batter, Julius. Mid-on in business to keep that to a dot ball. The captain himself, Emma Trijuche. Julius Openjimungu unable to put bat to ball to one that has bowled right on the tram lines by Kenneth Ogenrod. Balls it in short. Openjimungu tries to pull it, beaten by the pace. A good over so far, with the final ball coming up for Kenneth Ogenroth. He will have to bowl that one again as it strays down the leg side. Dropped catch at slips, direct to the man, unable to hold on to that one. Missed opportunity. Flashes to that one, Openjimungu, and he will count his lucky stars. Dropped by that man at slip. A rare misfield from Jackson Asiku, but at the end of 2 overs it's 10 for no loss. Again, going for only 3 in his first over. The guilty man in your picture doing some housekeeping to his equipment. Jackson Asiku, shot number 10. Bowling change from the forest end. Asiku was able to lead another side in the recently concluded Sabula T20 Cup organized by Mukono Cricket Community again to victory, having been the unfancied side amongst the semi-finalists. Two-leg buys indicated by umpire Rested Nalumansi. That ball keeping low, beating the batter and the keeper. Great work from the guys chasing after it. With the tournament just beginning, you are unable to work out the stronger teams. Fine leg into play there in that shot. Asiku favoring that leg side line. Easily glanced off the pads by Owiri. It's a right hand left hand combination. Openjimungu and Owiri. That usually troubles the fielders and the bowlers' lines. But that should never be an excuse. Another one for the extras column from Jackson Siku. Teams working out their chemistry to know which combinations will work best during this tournament. Penjimungu picks up another single. Well, most of these players are known to each other. Some have not played with each other, so still getting to know themselves. Pulled powerfully for the first boundary of this innings and match. Robert Owili, he will punish you when you bowl short all wide, going over the man at mid-on. Owili in the recently concluded Sabula T20 tournament was man of tournament, best batter, had 3 centuries and 2 half centuries. Straight and powerful. Well done by the man at mid-off. A classic shot from Robert Owili, a man very pleasing to the eyes. One more ball from Jackson Asiku will complete this over. Back of a length delivery there from Jackson Asiku to complete 8 coming off his over. 3 completed. 20 for no loss for Kilimanjaro. A single to start us off the second over of Kenneth Ogenroth. Kenneth Ogenroth turns out for Mukono Cricket Community Development side in the Cricket Uganda T20 and 50 over leagues. Bad pad. Great line there from hit straight back over the head of the bowler by Openjimungu for a boundary 4. They're cruising on nicely during this power play. Lines it up well and deposits it over the head of the bowler. The pressure is now back onto the bowler, and how does he answer back? Short one there, quick, good response. A very interesting battle now developing between Openjimungu and Ogenrod as he continues to receive some advice from his captain. Good call from Openjimungu going into the danger zone. Final ball of the over. And it will end with a dot ball. Great comeback from Kenneth Ogenrod, having been hit for a 4 in his third ball of this over. Yet to pick up a wicket, but 2 overs completed for him, conceding 9 runs in the process. At the end of the 4th over, the score is 26 for no loss. Elgon, the men in pink and blue, winning the toss and choosing to bowl first in this encounter, the second game of the East African Safari T20 Cup, happening here all month long. As Siku continues from the a misfield there, and the running continues. That ball deflecting off the fielder's leg. Adam Kasim in your shot there, shot number 11. A welfare check will be carried out by the umpires to determine if it needs more attention, but a very powerful shot there from Owiri. Sorry, Openjimungu. The medics come onto the field of play to attend to Adam Kasim, struck on the leg by that powerful hit. It's looking rosy at the moment for Mount Kilimanjaro team, asked to bat by their counterparts of Elgon. 28 for no loss so far. Openjimungu and Owiri evenly matched so far. Openjimungu with 11 in 15 and Robert Owiri 10 in 10. And it seems like Adam Kasim, the injured fielder, will continue. They pick up another one. Jackson Asikwe, a wily campaigner, turns out for Centurion Sisi in the Cricket Uganda Leagues. Student also at St. John's. SS Kauga should be able to feature in the upcoming Boys Schools Cricket Week. Saturday saw the completion of the Girls Schools Cricket Week, which was held in venue, and Light SS emerging champions, having beaten Olida High School in that final. Olida were the defending champions. Soroti Cricket Academy setting a benchmark with their representatives, but Mount Centenary's Senior Secondary School, part of the Mukono cricket community, doing wonders, reaching the semi-finals. A very upward trajectory, considering the fact that they have been playing cricket for 2 years. That is wide from Asiku, and like I said before, this right hand and left hand combination usually gives problems to bowlers, and that is quite evident out there in the middle. One bounce 4 from Openji Mungu. Asiku overcompensating and bowling it quite wide. It was all arms, no feet whatsoever from Openji Mungu. But it is the result that counts. Final ball of the 5th over. Unable to put bat to ball, Openji Mungu. That dot ball marks the end of the 5th over. The score is 35 for no loss. A run rate of 7 per over. Healthy at the look of things, and barring any collapse, the projected score is 140 runs. Adam Kasim makes his way into the attack to replace Ogenrod Kenneth from the highway end. Emma Twijuche sends the man out at deep extra cover, and he patrols the boundary at mid long off. Kato Malcolm guilty of going round the ball. Adam Kasim unable to field off his own bowling, and you do not want to give Robert O'Willy such deliveries but I think that was just a loosener from Adam Kasim. Another boundary for Robert Owiri. Man with a lot of power lines up that ball, and it is a one bounce for 4 runs to add to the total of the Kilimanjaro side. Drifted that one out, unable to capitalize is Obidi. That will go all the way for a maximum. Robert Owiri now looking in the mood to accelerate. Above Kaukona and right into the stands there from Robert Owiri. Very, very strong lad. Turns out for Pak Shaheen in the Cricket League. And I told you that he had 3 centuries and 2 half centuries in the previous tournament. Straight as a ruler over the head of the bowler. 4 runs, back-to-back boundaries. But we are not surprised by such displays. For people who know Robert Owiri, he's such a hard worker, working on his craft. You will always find him in the nets, eager to learn. Quicker ball there from Adam Kasim. Jackson Asiku keeps that to 1. Kasim's first over going for 17 runs, I beg your pardon. And that acceleration brings up the 50-run mark. 52 runs for no loss for Mount Kilimanjaro side. Robert Owiri now 2018-18. Julius Openjimungu 16-18. The projected score skyrocketing to a mammoth 173 runs. A very, very productive power play there for Mount Kilimanjaro side. Accelerating to over 8 as run rate, but losing no wickets. Will the middle order overs provide some reproof for the Elgon side, as we see Ali Balidawa return from the forest end back into the attack? Starts off with a quicker one. These 2 students of St. John's Kauga SS, Owiri has captained Balidawa, so he knows a thing or two about his weaknesses. If you will notice that balls bowled into the body line to Willie give him difficulty to put away, but anything short and wide and full, he will put you to the sword. Change of bowling end there to the left-handed Openjimungu. From the left-handed Balidawa draws him forward for a dot ball. Great respite from the previous over of Adam Kasim. Bowls him with a 1 ball back to over length, trying to access the onside, but it was quick and it was right in the wickets. First wicket falls for the Kilimanjaro side. Great bowling change there from Emma Twijuche, the captain of the Mount Elgon side. All at sea there in your frame. His stance wide by design and not playing forward meant that that quicker ball just went through to hit the wickets. It is the East African Safari T20 Cup 2026, the first edition, and we will have an inaugural champion at the end of the round robin and semi-final stages, and hoping that these tournaments can become a staple on the cricket calendar on the Ugandan landscape. As you can see those highlights there, Roberto Willie and Openji Mungu putting the bowlers to the sword of Mount Elgon. But a good comeback from Ali Balida. But Peter Ochen, new man on strike. Grounded ball there, and you have two powerful lads, Ochen, who turns out for Soroti City Cricket Club. Opportunity for a run out, sent back by Roberto Willie, and a very productive over there for Ali Balidawa, picking up the first wicket. Concedes only 2 runs after 7 overs. The score is 53 for the loss of 1. Roberto Willie still in there, 29 in 20, currently joined by Peter Ochen. Field restrictions have been lifted after the power play. Adam Kasim will have more protection. Boundary riders. Ali Balida was sent to long off. Jackson Asiku sent to long on. Ogenrod Kenneth, all tall men sent to cow corner. Emma Trijuche goes to deep extra cover. Flights that one up. A fumble. Run out opportunity, but the bat is in. Peter Ochen survives, but that hesitation in call between Ochen and Owiri almost resulting in calamity. Not a clean pick up from Jackson Asiku, but that's it in quickly to the wicket, to the bowler, sorry. Peter Ochen throws in a dive to save his wicket. Vacant deep mid-wicket region accessed by Roberto Willie to a short ball from Adam Kasim. Picks up another boundary. And Roberto Willie is that kind of batter who can easily accelerate his score and his team's score within a flash. As you have another look at that ball crossing the boundary rope. Good comeback there, drifting it in, Adam Kasim, and it is a very interesting contest out there. The power against the guile of Adam Kasim, the power of Roberto Willie. Rocks onto the back foot. Ali Balidawa keeps it to a single. Quick running in there, fumble in the field, turns a single into a double. Some lapse in concentration in there by the fielders. And it will be the final ball of the second over from Adam Kasim. Ball to the legs again, and they pick up one. End of the over. 8 completed. 63 for 1 is the score. Mount Elgon side winning the toss this afternoon, electing to bowl first, asking the Kilimanjaro side to post a score, trying to restrict them, but on their merry way. A good comeback so far, you would say, for Mount Elgon, reducing that run rate down to 7 from the 8 it was at. Changes continue out there in the field. The captain opting for spin. Kato Malcolm, tasked with the responsibility of bowling these middle overs, has some protection. Young man right at the start of his cricket career. Well bowled. Should be one. Good work there from you will expect off breaks from the young man. And he has a knack of tossing that ball up. But he will have to bowl that one again as he strays beyond the tram lines. Deep mid-wicket, cow corner, long on, long off are the boundary riders. Powerfully hit for the maximum. A loose ball there from Kato Malcolm. No control there And Roberto Willie loves such gifts. Now into the 40s, Roberto Willie, a man who has an appetite for runs. Quick in between the wickets, but more of an aggressor and a man who loves to strike that ball hard. Good comeback from the youngster. Balls wide, but protection cleans up. And you cannot overestimate the experience these youngsters are gaining by playing such tournaments in teams where they have mentors, so you could say opportunity missed. Sorry, Ochen Peter trying to hit that one back, unable to hold on to it, but better lines there from Kato Malcolm. Over ball of the over. Better there. Runs and chases after his bowling. Well done. Keeps it to 1, bringing us to the end of the 9th over. Concedes 12 of his first. $75 runs for the loss of 1 wicket after 9. Game number 2 on match day 1 of the East African Safari T20 Cup 2026 happening down here at Florida Cricket Oval in Kokonjeru. And there will be another bowling change from the highway end as the captain, shot number 9, Emma Twijuche, takes hold of the ball. A very vacant slip region there, but it sends out deep cover. Full ball played well on the ground by Peter Ochen. Great clean up there from Ali Balidawa. Balls it quick to Roberto Willie, who adds another run to his total, slowly inching up to the half-century mark. Thick inside edge. Twijuche coming right arm round, tries to create that angle as he bowls that ball across the batter. That should be a very powerful shot. Jackson Asiku, uploaded by his teammates for keeping that within the boundary ropes, as it was surely traveling. Well struck there. Man right at the boundary rope. Chen Peter gets it on the act. Pick up one. Asiku might not have caught the man, but he saved 5 runs there. His team will be very thankful for that. Last ball. Opportunity to catch. Caught. And Robert Owiri, unhappy with himself, unable to complete his half century. 5 runs short. Owiri will have to depart for 45. A brisk 45 in 29 balls. And it's usually the anchor of his teams, but another look at that. Trying to go over cow corner. Unable to, as that ball is within the circle. The fielder right under the nose of that one. And the second wicket falls for the Kilimanjaro side. The score is 80 for the loss of 2. After 9 from 5 overs. Robert Owili was the danger man, was the prized wicket. And Emma Trijuche, the captain, managing to flummox him, draws him into a risky shot. Skyer there, well taken by the man. Coming off the rope. Halfway. We are at the halfway stage of the first innings. But Kato Malcolm continues. Alibali Dawa, Ugandan under-19 international, doing great work out there in the deep at long off. Kato Malcolm tasked with that ball. Newman in. Quicker ball outside of the stumps for Kato Malcolm. And another dot ball there, and you can feel the confidence coursing through the veins of that young man. Not only that young man, but that Elgon team, having gotten rid of the danger man in Robert Owiri. The batter only managing to find fielders Haddad, Chiveru, rocks onto his feet to that one. The chest to keep it in the boundary is good. Umpire indicates for the effort all in vain, as there was contact with the boundary rope from Ogenrod Kenneth.
the departure of Robert Owili will be some bit of a breather for the Mountain Elgon team. But Malcolm Kato, a little expensive in his first, and now he returns to make some amendments. There was some with it, but I love that fielding his ball, beautifully done. And now Peter Ochen and Chiveru Haddad taking on the job of continuing to score the runs. But we've come to the end of the 11th over. The scoreboard still reading 83 for a loss of 2 wickets. And the projected score still reading 120, means Robert Owen will achieve his target. He earlier on at the trust said that he wanted something close to 150. So now somehow you feel that he's getting his team to that dream.
Robert already leading from the front, a brisk 45 in 29 balls, and you feel that he has laid the foundation for that total that he mentioned at the toss. Pass score we know is 130. In fact, we've been saying 130 and 140, but we are leaning more to the 130 runs. But Emma Twijuche will continue for his second over from the highway end.
Wicket time. Emmanuel Tujuche back into the attack, and he manages to get rid of his friend in Peter Ochen, but what a deliver there from Emmanuel Tujuche for Mountain Elgon to pick up the third.
Twijuche proving to be the difference maker so far, choosing to come right arm round, that ball turning back into the wickets. Ochen going for the booming drive, ball nowhere to be hit. The interesting thing is that that ball is coming across your body but then turning in, and that is why he's coming right arm round. Good thinking from the captain himself, Twijuche.
And I tell you, in his heyday, Emmanuel Twijuche used to be a medium seamer, but now he's worked on his trade and he's bowling very well. He manages to get another praise wicket for his team, because Peter Ochen is another handy batter who can get for you the runs. So now Haddad Kiveru will have to carry the team forward to try and make sure that he finds the runs that are much needed for his side to pick up victory. And I tell you, the current passage of play shows that Mountain Elgon is crawling back and managing to box back Mountain Kilimanjaro.
Certainly very many runs in there between Ochen and Owidi. Openji Munji as well came to the party, but the fight back led by Emmanuel Twijuche for his side, Mount Elgon, makes this a very interesting encounter.
Second wicket for Emmanuel Twijuche as Raymond Kagera makes his way to the crease. Raymond Kagera, player for Africa Cricket Club, now coming in to try and make sure that he finds the runs for his team. He's another handy player, a student at at St. John's Secondary School, Kauga. But now he comes in at a time where he needs to score runs for the team. Some pressure after two big wickets falling in a space of about 3 overs. Robert already departing and Peter Ochen following him after a few deliveries. And now there comes Raymond Kagera to join Haddad Chiveru. Kagera taking his sweet time before he gets ready to face. The current run is 7.61 and the projected score reading 152 runs.
Full from Emmanuel Twijuche, and Kagera can only find the men within the circle.
A little fall, but brilliant work there from Emmanuel Tujiche fielding his own ball. He didn't let it go past him. Fine stop.
I would say that was more of the non-striker doing the fielding job for the Elgonians, so to speak. Change of bowling end. Comes right arm over. Oh, thick inside edge. Beats him for all money. Only sound remaining was that of the wicket rattling down, but good stuff from Emma.
That was a very fine ball. It just missed the wickets. It could have given them something. And I love the idea. And now he's gone back. Right arm round. Every time he bowls it round, it's some bit of coming towards the batter. So as you're opposing, you see it coming right close to your body and you'll have to just hit it away. Now the covers field even coming closer for Chiveru Haddad. Haddad hits, doesn't connect quite well. Jackson Lasuk not managing to go for that direct hit, and they will do take the run.
Trijuche examining the batter's technique quite well, changing bowling ends every 1 or 2 balls. When it's coming right arm round, you will find that that ball is coming across your body, but it is turning in, so it is quite difficult. So when you miss that, it is most likely going to hit your wicket. But manages to complete his over, conceding a single there. Figures look immaculate so far. Picks up 2, concedes 7 in his 2. At the end of the 12th over, it is 88 runs for the loss of 3 wickets for the Mount Kilimanjarians. It is still Malcolm Kato to come for his 3rd over. Bowled short and to the legs, pulled brilliantly by Kagera.
Yeah, it was right in the surface. Raymond Kagera just managing it with the bat, because the fielder at square leg was standing right in the arc. As soon as that beat him, it had to be a boundary, and a welcoming boundary given the current passage of play, because it takes them in the net. Look at that one there. He didn't even have to do a lot. Went leaning into the shot and made sure that it beats that fielder who was standing at square leg. Raymond Kagera now on 5 of 5, and Haddad Chiveru on 5 of 6. This is match day 1 of the East African Safari T20, a very long tournament that will be coming to bed towards the end of this month, but giving a valuable playing time to some of these youngsters. Hit back to the field and put down. Oh, come on, Malcolm. You can't afford to do that. Somehow wicket they did need, but Malcolm Kato not getting hold onto it. And another chance is put down by Mountain Elgon. Into the gap. A bit risky. Good idea. Focus there on the wicketkeeper's end, but just missing it, and they do take another run.
A very good opportunity presented to Kato Malcolm. Seemed surprised by the ball coming back to him. He had bowled brilliantly in his 2nd over. He will send out deep mid wicket. Opportunity again, unable to sprint in and dive to pick up that ball. Posing some questions now, Kato, but not taking hold of those opportunities presented by the batter. 2 chances gone begging.
Nearly leading edge there from Chiveru Haddad, and in the end a dirty ball, but someone over there could have picked up at least 2 wickets, 2 of them going in Vine, and they will be hoping just a good ending to this over by Malcolm Kato. Somebody is there to cut, and Lule Arafat not with the finest of starts, but in the end a dirty ball, bringing us to the end of the 13th over, and the scoreboard reading 93 for a loss of 3 wickets. It is match day 1 of the East African Safari T20. 2 fixtures we are lined up today. The first one happening between Mountain Meru and Mountain Satima. Mountain Satima edging that one by just 1 run, but what a game we had on the cards. Conrad Rwama's 50 runs in the chase didn't somehow help his side crossing the line.
A very, very thrilling encounter, nail biter. The Mount Meru restricting the Satima to 92, but Satima coming back and fighting till the death, and imagine to overcome by 1 run. The first hat trick of this tournament coming via the golden arm of Richard Sohera.
Yeah, 6 wickets for him in that game, Richard Sohera, and he managed to complete as the player of match. When he came in during the first innings, he scored the golden duck because I swapped LBW right away when he started facing. But somehow he started growing in the game, and he made sure that he helps his side to crawl back during the time of bowling. In the end, they crossed the line by just 1 run. I feel that somehow it should have been a tie and maybe a spur over. But then Mountain Meru must have missed something during that chase.
Certainly, only Conrad Duwama and Kakairi came to the party, and you feel that everyone else was playing from themselves. But getting back to the live action here, Adam Kasim returns in the bowling attack. Starts off with the wide, trying to bowl around the legs of Raymond Kageda.
Yeah, Adam Kasim has been already expensive in the game, giving 28 runs in 2 overs. And now he'll be hoping that he can bowl well, but even the start with the wide in that over wasn't really a very good sign. I wonder why Raymond Kageda always bends down when he's hitting that shot away instead of remaining firm and failing that gap, because when you look at the onside, there was clear gap between fine leg and square leg.
I need to change his technique because he's not moving his feet, so he finds that he needs to pull the ball but with no foot movement, so it's all arms and doesn't look good on the eye, neither is it effective.
This time round he makes some good control, but he will pick up the fielder who is standing at square leg. Not a good glove work there from the wicket keeper. I will be happy that there was backup right behind him, and only a single run they did take. Somehow Mountain Elgon has found a way of cutting off boundaries, and it is working out in their favor because they are conceding the singles, which is okay. When you look at the projected score being at 140, they'll need to make sure that they bowl well so that they don't go for many in this game. 1 more ball to play the over. Hit down to the fielder, standing right towards the point area. And that dot will bring us to the end of over number 14. Score at 97 for 3, Mountain Kilimanjaro. All the 6 teams in this tournament picking names from the different mountains that we do have in East Africa. This is just match day 1 and plenty of playing days in this tournament.
The tide certainly turning when Robert Owili, Peter Ochen, Open Njimungu all departing, and you find that the Elgonians now able to stem the flow of boundaries, bringing some more pressure onto the Kilimanjaro side. Ali Balidawa makes a return into the bowling attack coming from the forest end. Started off this innings figures of 1 for 7 so far, makes the adjustments to his field, preferring that offside field, packing it up with fielders, has a slip in place, sends out Gully point, covers mid off.
Good bowling to his pitch. Bit sloppy there from Malcolm Kato. He needed to be on his feet. That single wasn't right there, because that's why he's there. He's cut off that run, and now he moves in a little closer. When you move in a little closer, it means the batter will be on pressure. He has either lofted it over your head, or when he plays it, you cannot take the run. Good thinking there from Ali Walidawa.
That is the best position for cover. See that the pressure that just moving one fielder creates, and then bowling it well, but completely beaten by the turn of that one.
Yana Adalic is thinking of getting that gap behind the wicket keeper. He goes hard on the onside, doesn't connect because Ali Walidawa bowls a quick one without informing the wicket keeper, and it becomes costly for his side. 3 wides make it 4 with that sloppiness by the fielder was picking up the ball at the fine leg boundary. And those 3 runs bring up 100 runs for Mountain Kilimanjaro. They now do have 102 for a loss of 3. In the morning we saw the team scoring only 92, and now Mountain Kilimanjaro has managed to breach that morning total.
I wanted to ask you, Ivan, that is it because that the 50 over league is currently running and we are done and dusted with the T20 that people are struggling in their acceleration and in their stroke making? The strike rates seem to be quite pedestrian, except for a few individuals.
I think just looking at the current tournament, some of the players who are coming in this tournament have not been practicing well. When you look at a player like Emmanuel Tujuche, the whole of last week he was in Gulu, doing some bit of scoring roles during the girls' nationals. So when he comes into this tournament, you have to make sure that now he just gets back to his blocks and starts hitting the ball around. Conrad Ruwama, who scored runs in the morning, and Robert Oli have been batting well and practicing in the nets. So it has not been an issue of the 50 over league going on at the time. It's been an issue of some people not undergoing training. For Peter Ochen, I'm not really sure, but it has been so long since he was cited at Lugogo training, unless he has changed where he trains from lately. So it's just an issue that most of the players have not been training. But I believe with the tournament going forward, teams keep growing in tournaments. They'll keep improving in terms of batting. The records, I think, they'll be improving as the tournament goes forward.
Thank you. And I think that it would be quite too harsh if we are very pertinent about their scoring and their game, because, like you said, some of the students are coming off exams. Those other players, unless you've been training, but it's still the opening week of this tournament, so maybe good things are to come.
And cricket is a game which rewards you every time you're true to it, be true to training and do everything well. But that's a much better comeback there from Ali Walidawa. After bowling one down the leg quick, he considered the 4 wides. He has now made sure that he adjusts his line forcing the batters to playing on the off. Emmanuel Tuche now doing the glove work for his side. It's around the time where I need to shuffle all responsibilities. Come and bowl a few overs. Come and do some bit of keeping, and just make sure that you don't allow your team to go for many. Another loose ball by Adwadida down the leg and more wides there for him. Not sure what he's doing. Maybe he's trying to buy a wicket, but again it's turning out to be costly for his figures and for his side, Mountain Elgon. One thing about these two mountains, Mountain Elgon and Mountain Kilimanjaro, both of them are found, they border two countries. Like Mountain Elgon is on the border of Uganda and Kenya, whereas Kilimanjaro is on the border of Kenya and Tanzania. But we've come to the end of the over, and at the end of the 15th, 105 for 3 is what the scoreboard reads for Mountain Kilimanjaro.
Mount Elgon winning the toss and electing to bowl first in this encounter. Kilimanjaro breaching the 100 runs mark so far. First team to do so in this tournament, just after 15 overs. And there will be a bowling change. Kenneth Ogenroth returns to replace Emma Twijuche, who was coming from the highway end. Pace on now, and a very vacant slip region, but with third man out there.
Emmanuel Tujuche's captaincy looking good at the moment. After getting rid of the two danger men, Robert Owili and Peter Ocheni, he now starts throwing the ball around to find who gets for him the wicket. Not a good return there for Kenneth Ogenroth, straying down the leg, and it is a wide. And when you look at his figures in the first overs, went for only 9 runs. Kenneth Ogenroth, he bowls express pace, but he bowls it with a lot of precision. You clearly see the ball angling away from the batters, and now he comes back. I think he was trying to execute a Yorker, which he missed. Then you consider that going down the leg. He has protection, third man and fine leg behind the square.
Better line there from Ogenroth. Draws the man forward.
Yeah, he will need to make sure that he bowls and forces the batter to play on the offside. And while they are waiting at covers, muted appeals, but that one was going down the leg. It just got off the pads towards the point area, and it is another much better needed dot ball there for Kenneth Ogenroth. Even though he's not picking up the wickets at the moment, Kenneth, he will need to make sure that he keeps these batters in check, keep them silent, don't allow them to score easy runs, because now you've gotten the danger men, you're now dealing with the rest of the batters, so you have to keep bowling that line and length. Gets one angling back, and it is another dot ball. Brilliant there from Kenneth.
Ogenroth may not be picking the wickets, but is creating pressure, and you will find that the bowler coming on from the other end might reap his rewards, because all the pressure has been created here, and all that would be left for the other bowler, if it were so to happen, is to finish off the job.
Another one beats him, and another dot ball.
A very stern examination of the technique of Haddad Chiberu by Kenneth Ogenroth. 4 consecutive dot balls, hardly making any contact with the bats. Uses his feet to get to the pitch of the ball. Only manages to find a fielder on the offside. The pressure valve increases. And it is one ball to complete the third over from Kenneth Ogenroth. With the more established batters departing, Ochen, Owiri and Openjimungu, the task seems harder for the Chiberus and Kageras. Opportunity. Ashraf Lule keeps that to 2. And a good over there from Kenneth Ogenroth, conceding only 3. He has figures of 0 for 12. After the 16th over, 108 runs for the loss of 3 wickets for Mount Kilimanjaro side, asked to bat first by Mount Elgon. Penjimungu and Owidi opening the batting. Quick 45 in 29 balls from Robert Owidi, falling 5 short of his half century. But Ali Balidawa will complete his allotted quicker ball on the offside. We apologize for our graphics. It is Ali Balidawa bowling. Starts off with a dot ball. And another one. So Ogenroth and Balidawa dealing in the dot balls to increase the pressure upon the Kilimanjaro batters. Midoff keeps that to a single, getting Chiberu off strike. And he bowls him a quicker ball there to Chiberu. Head all over the place. And it is 4 wickets down for Mount Kilimanjaro side. As we have another look at that one. That's it in quicker, back of a length, rattles the middle stump. Chiberu on his way back. 109 runs for the loss of 4 after 16.4. Ali Balida picks his second wicket in his last over. Two more balls for Ali Balida to complete his allotted 4. He has a slip in place. Gali he hits him over his head. And they pick up 2. New batter in straight off the mark. Collins Okwalinga, veteran cricketer, product of Bosoga College, Mwiri. Final ball of the over. The appeal is loud. Quick running in there. A misdirection of the ball coming back in. Ali Balidawa completes his 4 overs, picking up 2 wickets for 18 runs. After 17, it is 113 runs for the loss of 4 for Mount Kilimanjaro. Raymond Kagera 11 in 17. Collins Okwalinga 2 in 2. Projected score down from the 160s to 133. Quick. The batter having no clue at all. But there is a vacant slip region. If you can just guide that ball through a get off strike to bring Okwalinga on. Runs seem to have dried up in this encounter in the first innings. Very poor fielding there from the man at covers. Ball hit direct to him, but not applying the basics. Wide, creating room there. The body not behind the ball, and it rushes to the boundary for 4. Such efforts are sometimes very heartbreaking to the bowler. Comeback is a shorter ball. Quick bouncer. Umpire indicating that that's the one bouncer for the over. And such feisty battles are very interesting to the spectators. Great comeback from Kenneth Ogenroth. His figures would do with the wicket to look better. Thick edge keeps it to 1. Not very great glove work there from the captain, and they pick up 2. The Elgonians struggling to finish this one. This innings quite well, having got rid of the danger men. Non-striker not moving to the other end as Ogenroth Kenneth changes bowling sides to come right arm round. Tries to angle that ball across from Okwalinga. Swing and a miss. Beaten by the pace of the young man. No ball indicated by the non-strikers umpire. Sorry. Too many people outside of the 30-yard. A lapse in concentration that I previously talked about from the Elgonians. A free hit now for Colin Okwalinga to face. Slower ball completely deceives him. He has been bowling express pace, but then takes off that pace for the free hit and gets a dot ball. Brilliant thinking from the young man there. One ball to complete his allotted overs. How he would wish to complete with a wicket. Another shorter ball indicated no ball. Free hit coming up again. As a no ball has been indicated in the previous ball. Opportunity to catch. And yes, opportunity missed to run out, because as we all know that you cannot, the only way you can be out of a free hit is by being run out. Yes, the catch was made, but it accounted for nothing. As we take another look at that one, the fielder realizing later that he had to hand the ball back in quickly to prevent a run, but again Rod Kenneth completes his allotted 4, picks up no wicket, concedes 22 runs. After 18, the score is 123 runs for the loss of 4. Projected score now being 137. Raymond Kagera 16 in 21. Collins Okwalinga 5 in 6. Penultimate over of this innings coming up. The Elgonians, the men in pink and blue, winning the toss, choosing to bowl first. The skipper from the opposing side of the Kilimanjaros, Robert Owiri, opining that they needed to score about 140, 150. Just 27 runs away, you would feel, all 17. But it is Adam Kasim returning from the... Adam Kasim returns into the attack from the forest end. A quick run there starts us off. The appeal is loud, but the batter making his ground back, having moved out. Kasim has been quite expensive, but bowling fine lines in his last over now. Taken to the cleaners in his first over by Robert Owiri, going for 17. Tries to come back again. Dummy balls to see what the batter intends to do. Takes off the pace there. Mind games out there in the middle. The celebration comes out, the salute from Adam Kasim as he redeems himself, picks up the wicket of Haddad Chiberu. "126 runs for the loss of 5 for the men of Kilimanjaro in their quest to post a formidable total in this first innings of the second game of match day number 1 in this East African Safari T20 Cup. Augustine Mujuni, the new man in for Kilimanjaro, more of a bowler, but with 2 balls to navigate off this over. Right off the mark there to add a vital run to the Kilimanjaro total. Change of bowling ends for Kasim to try and create some deviation in the angles. Goes wide across Okwalinga, and we'll have to bowl that again. His final ball of his allotted 4. Used his feet, Okwalinga, good running there. He retains strike, and it is 19 overs done and dusted. 129 runs for the loss of 5. Kwalinga 7 in 9. Mujuni 1 in 1. Final over coming up. That will see us complete the first innings of this encounter between Mount Elgon and Mount Kilimanjaro. Game number 2 on match day 1. Shot number 10, Jackson Asiku, with the task of bringing this innings to a close. Balls that right into his legs. Leg byes indicated. And 130 runs on board now for the Kilimanjaro side. Hit and run there from Mujuni Augustine. Trying to pick as many runs as they can to their total. Sometimes it's just a difference of one run. And Collins Okwalinga picks at that ball well, ball on the leg side, and dispatches it via cow corner for a boundary 4. Angling in towards him. Picks up another single to add to the total. Wide ball adjudged by umpire Nachibule Elizabeth. And it seems to be a very tough day out there for Jackson Asiku. Dropped 2 catches, yet to buy any wickets. Another single, good running there between Mujuni and Okwalinga. And it will be the final ball of the first innings to come. Kilimanjaro 2 runs short of their desired total, as noted by the captain. And that single from Okwalinga marks the end of the first innings. 139 for the loss of 5 wickets in their allotted 24 overs. Asked to bat first, Mount Kilimanjaro. 140 runs will be needed by the Elgonians to achieve victory in this encounter. Coming up are the highlights as we await the second innings. The equation is 140 runs needed to win. It is game number 2 on match day 1. Mount Elgon versus Mount Kilimanjaro in the East African Safari T20 Cup. Elgon winning the toss, choosing to bowl first, restricting Kilimanjaro to 139 runs. Good work there from Robert Owidi. 45 in 29 balls. Now it is left to the Elgonians to chase that down in the allotted 20 overs if they are to join the Mountain Satima as winners on game day number 1. My name is Solomon Lubamachigozi, taking you through the second innings of this encounter. The mathematics says that it is 7 runs required in the allotted 20 overs for the Elgonians to walk away with a victory on this Monday morning. Okwalinga Colin will take the new nut and he will be coming in from the highway end. Robert Owidi, captain, behind the stumps. The Kilimanjarians looking resplendent in their cream and red bottoms. And it is the first ball. Tries to move his feet, Emmanuel Twijuche, following in the footsteps of Robert Owidi to come at the top of the order.
Brilliant ball there coming in from Emmanuel Okwalinga to start off this runs defense. 7 every over is what Elgon needs to pick up victory. Emmanuel Tujuja swinging hard but not getting close to the ball. If he made some foot movement and go to it, he can easily cut it away because there is no protection at the point, and the extra cover maybe can pick up something from that area. But it is 2 dot balls on trot for Emmanuel Okwalinga. Make it 3. Emmanuel to reach a bit dejected there. He feels like maybe that was a little wide from him, but the umpire says no, it is within the tram lines.
And with this notion of always moving to the offside, that always makes the tram lines move along with him. 3 dot balls so far in this innings. "24 extras in the first innings from the Elgonians did not help their cause. 45 in 30 for Robert Owidi, 16 in 20 for Okema. but Trijuche continues to play and miss to the outswingers from Colin Okwalinga.
And now when you look at that previous delivery there, Emmanuel Tuchu was thinking of playing it to the onside instead of keeping it to the offside, so it became hard for him to make any contact. 5 dot balls on trot with one more to start off with the Dream Maiden. Okwalinga should be thinking that he can bowl the same area. Brilliant there, dancing down the track, but hesitation between the batters, and they do not take the run. It is a dot ball and the first maiden in this run's defense. Brilliant start to the spell there by Collins Okwalinga, and at the end of the first over, 9 for 9 is the score.
Ivan, it is good to see the veterans winding back the clock to their glory days. A brilliant over there from Collins Okwalinga, not conceding a single run, the first maiden in this Safari T20 Cup. And it will be Peter Ochen, premium strike bowler, coming in from the forest end. What does he add to the brilliant opening spell from Okwalinga?
Jonathan Nyenya will be facing, I don't know, I would have first Alvarida to come and open the batting. Brilliant movement there off the surface by Peter Ochen, and it is another dot ball. Peter Ochen picking it up from where Emmanuel Okwalinga had left it. 7 dot balls in this run chase, and now the pressure might shift quickly because 140 more runs are needed in 113 balls for the Mountain Elgon team to pick up victory this afternoon here at Florida Cricket Oval. There's a breeze across the surface. They will be just hoping that I stick there. Another one there by Twijuche, I beg your pardon, by Peter Ochen, another dot ball.
Speaking of the breeze, Florida Cricket Oval, if you've played here long enough, you will know that in the afternoon there is that breeze that blows across the oval. So premium conditions for the swing bowlers. Ochen in business so far.
A bit of a leading edge, but Robert Owen not getting hold onto it, and they will take the run. Even the run out chance also went in vain, but finally off that leading edge, Mountain Elgon will get the first runs on board.
If you see the application of the players from Mount Kilimanjaro, you know that they mean business, giving their all. Robert Oweri running to try and get that catch, but unable to do so. Throwing that ball back in, try to run out the man and having good cover there.
Emmanuel Tujuche taking on his teammate. These two play for the same club, Sorot State Cricket Club, and they are both products of Sorot Cricket Academy. That is a hit with the bounce, and it is another single onto the total. And I tell you, the singles will not worry Mountain Kilimanjaro. It will be only the boundaries that might be something of concern. That's if these batters could try and find them. They are chasing a target of 140. Current run at 1.20 and required is 7.53. You don't want it to shoot up. You need to keep it manageable. Guided to the field that covers, but it doesn't carry. Fine stop there from Yahaya Makomeri, and it's only a dot ball for Peter Ochen.
Did you see that fielding in pairs between Makomeri and Komagum.
Last ball of the over. Sliced again. He was looking for that gap, but still he doesn't find it. Good backup there from Komagom Jovan. And a dot ball to end the over. 2 runs from Peter Ocheni's first. And as we come to the end of the second over, 2 for no loss is the score.
Leading edge there from Twijuche Emma, and that ball, or rather the fielder going round that ball, and a valuable 2 points added to the total of the Elgonians.
Pace of delivery there from Okwalinga and hit down the ground by Emmanuel Tujuche. Not too much effort there put in by Julius Okema, and that one kisses the boundary. Welcoming boundary in this contest of the game. The Erigoni batters will be hoping that they can get many of these boundaries, because this is the only thing that will help them to chase down the total of 140.
First boundary of the second innings. Okwalinga taking the pace off, but Tujuche watching that extremely carefully and depositing it past the boundary rope.
Stuck in his crease and just trying to hit it with the bounce. Another dirty ball, but that is brilliant there from Okwalinga. He went and made sure that it skids off the surface, and that extra bounce and extra pace didn't look quite playable by Emmanuel Tujuche. Two runs off the first ball, a boundary off the second, and the dot ball. Good adjustment there from Okwalinga Emmanuel. Closing on in his bat, Tujuche Emmanuel. That ball was angling away from him. If he could have opened up and slapped it away, maybe could have picked up more rewards, and it results into a dot ball.
An effort ball from Okwalinga, ending up sprawled onto the turf. Good enough, the ball was not hit back to him.
It could be dangerous when you're in your follow through and the ball returns. That has been the issue for Emmanuel Tujuche. Not making any foot movement, because that ball is dropping to the fourth stump. If you're already in motion, you can easily hit it on the full, but it is another dot ball. 3 dot balls on trot, and they feel that this was somehow an over where they needed to make a little amendments, because somehow Emmanuel Tujuche was showing that the ball was coming from his bat. 132 more needed from 102, with the final ball in this over coming up. Brilliant there, touch and go. Yes, they do take the run. 5 off the over, and end of the third. 9 for no loss is what the scoreboard reads. Change in the gears there for Jonathan Nyenya. He's got the new blade to try and make sure that he forces things. But Peter Ochen is back into the attack. 2 of his first. And now he returns. Beautifully guided through that cover area for a single. And this is much better from Jonathan Nyenya and Emmanuel Tujuche. If the boundaries are not coming, at least keep protecting the streak. 6 every over keeps you close. But every time you concede those dot balls, it becomes very hard. So instead of overheating, at least let them be looking for the placements.
Entirely correct, Ivan, there in your assessment. Don't let yourself be bogged down on one end, and that will be wide from Peter Ochen. Even just 4 runs in an over is good enough sometimes.
And when you look at this outfit of Mountain Kilimanjaro, somehow within the innings they will need to keep shuffling the bowlers and bringing part-timers. So if you play out to the good bowlers, Peter Ochen and Okwalinga, you wait for the part-timers and take them on. Well sliced by Jonathan Nyenya. It is racing on, and the fielder giving it a chase. Good work there in the deep, cutting that one off very nicely. But 2 runs Mountain Elgon batters will do add to the total.
The batters now able to put bat to ball, finding the gaps. Great fielding effort there from Komagum.
Yeah, Komagum, former at Kololo Senior Secondary School, where he played back-to-back boys nationals down in Jinja, but currently he is with St. John's High School, Kauga. A little full and off the edge, nearly a leading edge to Raymond Kagera at covers, but another dot ball there for Peter Ochen in the over. Peter Ochen, Vigirio Odeke, Tom Adupu, Emmanuel Tujuche, all products of Soroti Cricket Academy, a group that is doing a lot of work, good work within the eastern region, making sure that they bring this sport to the youths, boys and girls, and all these being part of those beneficiaries from that SCA program. Soroti Cricket Academy last year won an award with the middle stamp, excelling as one of the youth programs that have done a lot of good work in making sure that the game grows.
And of course, the girls' schools cricket week champions, not even only champions but finalists, coming from Soroti. Great work done there in the eastern part of the country. Flowers are due to Felix Musana.
Yeah, Felix Musana and the team doing a lot of good work, making sure that at least the young boys and girls can get some bit of access to this sport. Cricket is a game that can take you to places, but at least for Musana, when he has moved out of the country and visited the places like South Africa, he's made sure that at least he comes back with proper equipment to make sure that some of these youngsters are getting that advantage of getting the access to sport. Because cricket is a game that can transform your life. Many have gotten bursaries, many have gotten scholarships, many have gotten opportunities like employment. So when you're too true to it, it always rewards you. He also had some good friends in Alan Samakula, Andrew Nyumba, who during social games can come together and put some money together and say, let's have some nets in Soroti. Remember, there was a fundraiser of sorts which happened during that inaugural SCA marathon, Carnival Marathon, which was held last year in December, and it greatly helped to make sure that there is some bit of infrastructure for the young boys in the eastern region. Good adjustment there from Peter Ochen. Touch and go, but Emmanuel Tujuche caught, watching, running himself into traffic is Emmanuel Tujuche. And that will be another wicket that goes, the first one in this contest of the game, but disappointed by himself, Emmanuel, because somehow he feels he has not done the job for his team.
A needless run out, trying to manufacture a run where there was none, but the fielder aware to that fact, trying to drop and go, using his feet, and then calls for the single. Nyanya obliges, but Mujuni, with the presence of mind to run him out. Good work there. There was no run on any given day for that. Look at where he's coming from and look at where the fielder is. Chanced the arm of Mujuni Augustine and lives to regret that. First wicket falls, 14 for 1 after 4 overs for the Elgonians. Current run rate being 3.50, but the required being 7.88. Started off at the beginning of the innings at 7, slowly rising up, and that man who was initiated that brilliant run out is given the task of coming into the bowling attack to replace Emma Okwalinga, who was coming from the highway end.
Ali Walidawa is the new batter in, and Austin Mujuni is the bowling change. Mujuni coming into the attack, replacing Emmanuel Okwalinga. Okwalinga has done a lot of good work, bowling in tandem with Peter Ochen, and now it will be Mujuni to make sure that he carries that good work forward. He is coming right arm over for the left-handed batter. We'll get it there by Ali Walidawa. He looked in control while playing that shot, and he manages to get off the mark with a single.
Augustine Mujuni able to swing that ball both ways. Of course, a product of Nyakasura School from Fort Porto, the tourism city of Uganda. Great work by Ivan Tawitemira. As we are speaking of Felix Musana, we can't forget Ivan Tawitemira in Nyakasura, Fort Porto.
One thing that these two, Felix Musana and Ivan Tawitemira, have done synonymously is making sure that after doing a lot of training in making sure that the youngsters understand and get the skills of the game, they also have clubs where these youngsters come out and play. The one for Nyakasura, or for Ivan Tawi being Abojo, and the one for SCA being Sorot Cricket Academy. But good players they are, and plenty of opportunities coming their way. Because sometimes for the young men it is hard to know the opportunities that they do have, but if you start embracing them, cricket is a good sport.
Of course, Mokono cricket community, organizers of this tournament, also following that blueprint, having girls teams and boys teams. The Mokono development side also being the feeder club for Africa Cricket Club. So it doesn't help much to train boys without giving them the opportunities to put what they have learned into practice.
And I tell you, when I was watching the girls' nationals in Gulu for the past 7 days, one thing I saw that the biggest difference wasn't in skill set, but it was in game time. How you express yourself out in the middle mattered a lot. For some coaches and teachers were feeling that maybe their players are not expressing themselves so well, but it comes with game time. When you saw that the 3 schools that came from Soroti are exception in the tournament, Soroti, SS, Lake SS and Olida, but this is because of the many tournaments that they do play. They do have the 3-day in December, they have the ACA 50 over, they have the ACA T20. All these tournaments give them a lot of practice. And now when you're playing in such tournaments with experienced players, because always what the academy does, that it transports most of the girls who are in the VPs, the Victoria Pearls, to Soroti. Players like Kulume Fiona, Janet Mbabazi, Kevin Amuga, always in Soroti. Now Mejena Mongi, to make sure that as they are playing, they are inspiring and motivating these young ones, but also they are learning something from them. So it really puts a very big chunk of gap between them and others. Not good control there by Ali Walida, but in the end they will take the single, closing on his bat instead of pulling one away. But runs not coming easy the way of Mountain Elgon. I thought Ali Walida would have been the force of things, but now the required run rate raising from 7 to 8, and it will be rather impossible for them to chase if that run rate goes up to 10. They need to make sure that they keep it a little manageable. But Ali Validawa and Jonathan Nyanya both being OBs from St. John's High School, Kauga. And that will bring us to the end of the over. 4 of Austin Mujuni's first, and at the end of the 5th, 18-1 is the score.
And another bowling change from the Forest end. A new Adam Huzaifa coming in to the attack. Starts off with a dot ball. Missing his line, straying down the leg side to the left-handed Ali Balidawa. Ivan, you spoke about Balidawa being the enforcer, but the bowling has been exceptional and taking his time to feel his way into this game. And I tell you, exceptional it is, as it is wicket time for Huzaifa. Disgusted Ali Balidawa throwing away his bat, saying that it was of no use to him as that ball snuck right under it and his wicket is down.
He's been playing a little dead in this game, and in the end he ended up losing his wicket. Adam Muzaifa changing the angle and going right arm round the wickets, angling one in, and you will see it's an edge of the blade from Ali Balida, but the edge was good for him. He was trying to send it to the onside. He just didn't manage to close the ball very well. That is the replay there from another angle. Adam Muzaifa making sure that as he comes into the attack, he makes inroads, and Ali Balidawa, who would have been the enforcer, now returns to the heart. And I tell you, it will now be a very tall order for them to chase this total, because some of the batters that you would have thought were going to get the runs have unfortunately been sent back to the dugout.
The bowling and the fielding from the Mount Kilimanjaro side has been absolutely brilliant. Something you love to watch as a spectator, as a coach, as a cricket aficionado, giving their all, getting their basics right. You can see the pickups in the out there in the field, quick, answering the call of their captain Robert Owili. You could see him jumping for joy when Ali Balida departed, because that is a big wicket, certainly. Jackson Asiku, shot number 10, facing Adam Huzaifa. Quick run in between the wickets. Fielder missing by a mile. The wickets, and one to add to the total of the Elgonians. A tall order, or would we call it a tough summit for the Elgonians to climb right now, as that skips low and missed by the batter.
Jackson Asuku is another handy player, student at St. John's High School, Kauga, player for the St. John's Cricket Club in our domestic league. But the only issue for him is that the players who went before him didn't give a very good start. Ali Walidawa, his teammate at Centurions and at the same school, Kauga, and Emmanuel Tuijuche. And now it's a little hard for him, because now a lot of pressure is back onto his shoulders. He might give a cameo, but it will be very hard for him to see his team past the line. But I tell you, the departure of the two batters who went might be a reason for there being a new hero. Maybe it's a time for Jonathan Nyenya or Jackson Asku to make sure that they hit out of the blocks. 21 for 2 after 5.5, and it is the final ball to wrap up the power play of this game. Hit straight to the fielder, and it will be a dot ball. 21 for 2 as we come to the end of the power play. And you feel that inside this power play, it has been Mountain Kilimanjaro, the fielding team, who have been on top of this one.
Certainly, Ivan, as you speak about the power plays, they have both belonged to Mount Kilimanjaro. At the same stage of the innings, Mount Kilimanjaro had 52 runs for no loss, in comparison to Elgon, who have 21 for the loss of 2. So the bowling has been exceptional, but also the batting in the first innings gave them a very good start. Augustine Mujuni continues from the highway end. Asiku taking a swipe to that, but nowhere near, all close to that, trying to access the offside. Sends in Gale to cover the gap that was there. You called for a hero, Ivan, and Jackson Asiku seems to be in the mood for some big runs, a maximum.
Yeah, brilliant hit there from Jackson Asiku. An inside out shot and just managing to clear the fielders on the offside. But look at the way he opens up his blade. That is something that missed for Emmanuel Tujuchi. Emmanuel was trying to play on the on instead of opening it and hitting it. But brilliantly executed there by Jackson Asiku, guiding it with the pace. And he manages to beat the fielders on the off to pick up another boundary. Jackson Asiku knows a lot of responsibility rests on him to make sure that his team gets home.
He's a capable all-rounder, you would say, and a leader, as we saw in the previous tournament organized by Mkono Cricket Community. That is the Sabula T20. He took an unfancied team all the way to the finals and won that. So he knows a thing or two about responsibility and fighting for the cause.
Tournament is coming and thick and quick for Mkono Cricket Community as they get ready for the boys' nationals qualifiers. Look at that edge there. A little thick over the head of the wicket keeper. And Asiku takes the run. You look at what he wanted to do, the alignment. But he will take the run. And it's brilliant after the sixth take, the single. To make sure that you're rotating the strike. 112 more needed in 81. That was a ball in a good area for Jonathan Nyenya. He needed to move his feet a bit, but he was stuck and just tried to overhit it. You could also wait for it because it's dropping out the off stump and you just get it with the bat. Because there is no slip fielder, you could get it past Robert Oweri for another run.
Nyanya trying to play late to that one, but it's a little bit closer to him and he should have tried to drive that on the up.
Again, Nyenya trying to throw his bat at it. Will be happy that that was outside of the tram lines for a wide. Overcompensation there from Austin Mujuni. Mujuni knowing that Nyenya is not looking so good on the offside. So when he comes ball to him, he's keeping everything outside off stump. Third man and fine leg right at the boundary. A bit of a leading edged point, but another dot ball in the over. Much comeback there from Austin Mujini. Well, he's not hitting on the offside, but make sure that you're forcing him to play, because that one near carry to the fielder at point. You give yourself a chance of picking up a wicket if you keep bowling that line.
Good in swinger there from Austin Mujuni. Bowls it to a back of a length and it was rising to Nyenya.
Final ball of the over there coming in from Austin Mujuni. Well guided, but straight to the fielder. Dot ball and end of the over. 7 gone, 29 for 2 is the score, and 111 from 78 for Mountain Elgon to pick up victory. Adam Muzaifa back in the attack. 1 for 2 in his first over. He comes for his second. Overhitting that one. Jackson Asiku. It was right in his hitting arc, but he didn't quite make any contact. It is a dot ball as Adam Muzaifa returns. Product of Push Cricket Academy, who are also doing a lot of good work. Based within Lugogo, Jackson Ogwanga, coach with the Cricket Cranes, doing a lot of good work and making sure that some of these young boys, mostly from the ghetto areas, can get some bit of cricket. Adam Muzaifa there, because on the previous ball, Jackson Asiku swung hard at a ball which was dropping close to the fourth stump. He now bowls it wider, and he gets it outside of the tram lines, and it is a wide.
It is always best to be metronomic, find your line, keep at it. If the batter is playing and missing, don't change, don't try to do too many things. Balls that one to the legs of Asiku, who puts it away for a single. Such players are inspiring, and they do most of the work for you as a community, as an academy. So when the youngsters see Huzaifa is getting opportunities, then they can also come in and join the game.
beaten completely by the pace, Jonathan Nyenya. That ball dropping right towards that very area, but swinging away from him sharply. You need a lot of precision, and your stance has to be very low so that you can easily hit it away or make a shim down the ground to make sure that you get it on the full. But now the dot ball percentage has been a little high, and it tells you the 1-9 needed in 75 at an asking rate of 8.75. A little loose there from Adam Mozaifa, and not well hit. That ball was right there for the hitting. It was a full toss on the borderline. Should have just opened up his blood and hit it over Kaokona all along on. But Jonathan Nyenya not managing to execute it well. Just a single they will do take. Still talking about the story of Push Cricket Academy. Coach Jackson Ogwang had a dream that maybe one time a big chunk of his players will play in the World Cup. And I tell you, players like Edwin Wagawa, Fadim Tagana, Monil Ismail being that lot that played for the Uganda 19 in the 2022 World Cup. It's good to dream, and the dream paid there. But look at the level of awareness there from Jackson Asko and Jonathan Nyenya. The ball going past the wicket keeper. They should have got and taken the run, the by run, but Jackson Asko found himself continuing to shape the shot instead of letting it to go, and he waits for the next ball. And when you look at the protection there for Zaifa Adams, fine leg, third man, extra cover, and long off at the boundary to take those catching options. But that's the final ball of the over there coming in from Adam Zaifa. He plays for Ginger SS Cricket Club. Adams, well hit. It was a vacant area, the long on area, but a slow outfield. The ball getting stuck in the ground. When it got off the blade, you'd feel that it would have gone all the way to the boundary, but only 2 runs they will do take. And that brings us to the end of the 8th. 34 for 2 is what the scoreboard reads for Mountain Elgon.
The Pacers have done a good job for Roberto with his Mount Kilimanjaro, and he decides this is the time to introduce his spinners.
Yeah, we did talk about the spinners, and it is Julius Okema, the first spinner into the attack. A bit of a leading edge, but that was dropping outside leg. And not out is the call from the umpire. Brilliant umpiring there.
Usually it hits the the legs, but that one was drifting on the leg.
A little flighted there, and another dot ball for Okema Julius Okema, another product of the Push Cricket Academy, doing some good work there for the team. He played for SS last season, but currently he's playing with Wanderers Cricket Club.
That ball is wide off the batter, and another dot ball in the scorebook. Precious dot balls there, pressure created. Tries to move his feet this time to access that ball, but unable to. What a start from Julius Okema. Pins him right into the crease. Make that 5 dot balls. And that will be the last ball of this first Okema over. Maiden wicket over for Julius Okema, brought in as the bowling change from the highway end by Roberto Willie. The pressure created in the first 5 balls. Nyenya trying to hit on the final ball, could only manage to find the man at covers. Make that 3 wickets down for Mount Elgon. Ball was wide, but the foot movement let him down. Haddad Chiberu completes the catch to the delight of his teammates. 34 runs for the loss of 3 wickets after 9 overs. Brilliant start from Julius Okema, maiden wicket.
I think for Julius Okema, he has been making variations on each and every day that he has bowled in this over. And he kept the batter, Jonathan Nyenya, guessing. At long last, Nyenya falling into the trap and hitting one to covers. The 3rd wicket for Mountain Elgon goes, and it is more havoc. 106 runs needed from as many as 66 balls. But looking forward in the tournament tomorrow, the 12th day of May, action continues, and in the morning it will be Mountain Renzori taking on Mountain Karisimbi, whereas in the afternoon Mountain Satima will take on Mountain Kilimanjaro. The morning games do start at 9:30 and the afternoon games do start at 2 p.m. 34 for 4, I beg your pardon, 34 for 3 after 9, and another bowling change. Komagom Jovan replacing Adamu Zaifa from the side where you see the forest for those who have been at Florida Cricket Oval. And the new batter in is Kenneth Ogenroth, left-handed. He can hit the ball, but it has been long since I last see him hitting the ball around. Komagom Jovan, previously a medium seamer. This time round he comes bowling, he loves bowling cutters and sometimes spinning it around. He'll be coming with a spin. Hit up in the air. There are waiting fielders. Who takes the catch? Austin Mujun goes past it. Another chance is created and another chance is put down.
That should be a dolly to a person of Mujuni's caliber. Opportunity created by the young man. Off his first ball, went up in the sky. Yes, he had to do some running, but going for the Australian style of catching and unable to complete that.
Now Ogenroth on strike. Played dead, and the finger is up. A full toss that would have been hit anywhere goes on to the pads. Ogenroth Kenneth comes. Ogenroth Kenneth goes.
For Ogenroth, I think it is now more of a psychological problem rather than anything else. Unable to move his feet when he gets in, a little tentative in his play, but like you said, he's unable batter. Too bad that today he doesn't trouble the scorers, and you feel that now the Elgonians are in all sorts of trouble. Jovan Komagum pins him, plumb LBW.
That's the ball there from Jovan Komagom. You clearly see he was covering the stumps. It could have gone and hit the off stump, and good umpiring there, good decision made by the lady umpire. The 4th wicket for Mountain Elgon goes. 105 in 64 balls. More pressure. Current run rate 3.75 and required 9.84. They will need to make sure that they are hitting hard if they are to pick up victory. But I tell you, these wickets that have fallen will mean more pressure for Mountain Elgon while chasing this one. And in a tournament which has double round robin of 6 teams, at least even when you're losing a game, you have to make sure that you go a little close, because sometimes it gets down to net run rate. So if they could get a chance of getting a little closer, maybe they stand a very big chance of making it to the playoffs.
Certainly, as we saw in the first game of this match day, It seemed like the match was done and dusted while Conrad Lubwama was there for the Mount Meru side. But we saw Richard Sohera and Loikimba Mturaki take the ball, put the brakes on, create pressure, and that one run loss was nothing but more like the pressure and that was applied. So we cannot say that this game is done and dusted, but Adam Kasim, the new man in, somebody should put their hand up, try to get as close to that total as possible, even if it's in a losing cause, as you say, Ivan.
And I tell you, when you look at this partnership between Kasim Adam and Jackson Asu can overhit the ball, but Kasim Adam is very good with the rotating the strike. So what Kasim will need to do is to make the placements and keep the scoreboard ticking, trying to overhit, but he misses. Not a good idea there from Kasim Adam. Make sure that you rotate the strike around, bring Jackson Asu on strike. He will go for those powerful hits.
Trying to go down to the square side, unable to make full contact there. And yes, he's a good placer of the ball.
There is an appeal of a stamping. Kasim Adam kept his foot hanging up in the air. He never took care of where he was standing. And just like that, in very quick fashion, Kasim Adam is reduced. He will have himself to blame for not sticking in his crease. Got beaten by the turn, and in the end, he is stamped. He will have to make the long walk back to the heart as Mountain Elgon loses the 5th wicket.
Emma Okwalinga there showing Adam Kasim what transpired, and that would be a lesson learned to the young man that when you move, try to make sure that your foot stays down there. Great glove work there from Robert Owidi. As we take another look at that one. Oh, clearly stuck outside the crease. Nothing to cry home about, as there is no part of his foot behind the line. A very, very bad way to get hit. And I think he was quite confident in himself that the foot was behind the crease. But that will bring the score 35 for 5 in 9.4 overs. Quick wickets falling for the Mount Elgonians.
Adam Uzaifa is the new batter in. Wicket time. Another batter comes and another batter goes. Not Adam Uzaifa, because Adam Uzaifa is on the fielding team. They looked a little similar in terms of stature and foot move and locomotion, but in the end, Jovan Komago manages to pick up another wicket. What a praise delivery there from Jovan Komago. What an over. 3 wickets have already fallen in this over. And Luanga Yusuf is the batter who comes and disappears in a flash.
Absolutely nowhere near the pitch of the ball. Caught in between playing forward and defending, doing neither. And Magum is the happier of the two. Quick wickets there. And the scoreboard should reflect 6 down and 35 runs on board turning out to be a serious beating, but this is a time for heroes, as you said, Ivan. Anybody to put their hands up.
What an over there from Komagum. Hat-trick ball. And now the batters are even scared of taking the run. It is a dot ball for Jovan Komagom. And it is the end of the over. What an over. The over started with a single. And later on, 3 wickets fell in the over. And as we complete the 10th over at the halfway mark, 35 for 6. This is what Mount Elgon has on total.
Jovan Komagum telling Okema that what you can do, I can do better. Okema started off with the wicket maiden, but that young man, Komagum, 3 wickets in that over. Halfway of this innings done and dusted, and Okema will continue from the highway end. The fielders from Mount Kilimanjaro now enjoying themselves out in this afternoon sun. Shadows lengthening. Good effort there from Jovan Komagum off that leading edge. Almost caught him throwing in the dive. And that will encourage the bowlers the more to turn the screw even more. Okema conceding his first run. Playing and missing. Andrew Kabanda, the new man in, yet to get off the mark in the 3 balls that he has faced, and that is the final ball of the over. Missed, but that is over from Julius Okema. Still 1 wicket for him and conceding only the first run in his 2 over spell. 36 runs after 11 overs for the loss of 6 for Mount Elgon. They won the toss and asked the Kilimanjaro to bat. Posted 139 in their allotted 20, but now doing the distraction job in the second innings. Jackson Asiku in danger of being left all alone on this side. You would feel that he should have had more of the strike, but what can you do when wickets are falling that end? The 2 balls he has faced, he's swinging that blade more in anger than with purpose. 4 men out there in the deep. You have deep mid wicket. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Deep square, long on, long off, and deep cover. Komagum straying from the good lines that he's been bowling onto the leg. Thought that one up into the extras column. Hit powerfully back to the bowler. Unable and shouldn't even have attempted to put his hand to that ball. Jackson Asiku gets off strike.
Making a shuffle across the stumps and fishing. Andrew Kabanda nowhere close to hitting the ball. Dot balls in the Komagom Giovanni over. He goes hard and he goes across the lane. There was an appeal and not given by the umpire. Some will feel that the impact and everything was happening outside off stump, and the by run is what they will do take. Somehow you feel that it might be a matter of time, but already ahead in this game, Mountain Kilimanjaro. They have made sure that they keep bowling the good areas and they keep the batters in check. One more remaining in the 12th over there by Jovan Komagom. And they are not taking any chances for Jackson Asiku. Long on and long off. Extra cover. And deep mid wicket are all deployed. Nowhere close. And it is a wide. Not a very good ball there from Jovan Komagom because they are not hitting him on. So he will have needed to bowl the tighter lines. Nearly hit back to the fielder. And they will do take the single. End of the over. 12 gone. And the 40 for 6 is the score.
Okema, who has conceded just a single run in his 2 overs, continues from the highway end. The screw being tightened more and more around the Elgon batters. That is a shot in anger. Keep almost colliding out there in the middle, tracking the second run. Between Kabanda and Asiku. Goes extremely wide, trying to correct, having bowled that first ball to the legs of Asiku and being dispatched, was almost in danger of that ball getting off the strip. Short but straight to the man at long on. Emma Okalinga keeps it within the boundary ropes. Pick up only one. Quick running from Jackson Asiku as that ball completely missed hitting that wicket. And this is better now from the Elgonians, trying to rotate strike. Having failed to do that in the previous overs, forcing things, you would say. The bowlers were good. Dot ball pressure was applied and they crumbled under the heat. Swing and a miss from Kabanda, but the idea is good, trying to go inside out over covers. Mid off is in the circle. Shot a bit, tidying up to do by Jovan Komagum. And that marks the end of the over. Score is 47 runs for the loss of 6 wickets after 13 overs. Andrew Kabanda 1 in 9. Jackson Asiku 100% strike rate, 19 in 19. Julius Okema 1 in 7. What figures that the young man has in 3 overs.
They are dominating the current passage of play. Mountain Kilimanjaro. Jovan Komagom back into the attack. Jackson Asku still trying to enforce things, but somehow nothing easy coming the way of the batting team, Mountain Elgon. He has 20 off 20, good for his individual strike rate, and to bring a bit of a cameo for his team. That one going through the legs of Kabanda Andrew, the batter, and the wicket keeper Robert Owili. And another by run taken by the team. 92 more from 41 balls for Mountain Elgon to pick up victory. It would be a miracle if they do come out of the blocks and pick up these runs. Hit down to the sweeper and beautifully fielded for just a single. That single will bring up the 50 runs, and it is a milestone for the Mount Elgon batters to smile about. Wicket time. It might have bounced maybe a little higher. It might have maybe hit off the bails, but shuffling across the stumps, making himself a culprit of LBW Andrew Kabanda. And his 1 of 11 cameo comes to an end. The 7th for Mount Elgon goes. And that's the replay there. Some of the ball keeping a little low, and the umpire saying it might have gone on to hit. The bails dejected, but given, and he will have to walk shuffled a little early across the stumps, and he missed it.
That ball dipping and should have gone on to hit the wicket. Kabanda must be feeling like most of the West Ham fans yesterday evening after that major decision at the end of the game between Arsenal and West Ham. Of course, the commentators today being avid Arsenal supporters and still believing for their team to lift the trophy after a long wait. Newman in. Malcolm Kato. He usually comes at the top of the order, but like we said, team chemistry still being discovered. But Komagum has brilliant figures so far. Final ball of the 3rd over from Komagum.
Yeah, Malcolm Kato playing dead, and it will be a dot ball to bring us to the end of the 14th. 50 runs for a loss of 7. If they pick up victory, they'll need to score 15 every over in the remaining 6. A total order of sorts 90 of 36 for the batting team to pick up victory. And I think with only 3 wickets remaining, this is when you go back to your prime bowlers. Yes, Emmanuel Okwalinga, try and make sure that they help you wrap up the tail.
Great to see Emma offering leadership to the Mount Kilimanjaro side. Of course, the more experienced person amongst these two teams. Played at a competitive level for quite a long time, winding back the clock. Won't bowl till he feels that his field is set to his liking. Will the tail wag, you feel, from Mount Elgon? Elgon might be facing Kilimanjaro, but this feels like Everest to them.
No wickets in his first 2 overs and 7 runs in the 2. But now he comes back into the attack. They've touched there from Jackson Asiku, just managing a single. 0 off 2 for Malcolm Kato. 89 in 35 for Mountain Elgon to pick up victory. Their captain said, well, at the toss, that a score of about 78 would be chaseable, but 140 looking unchaseable anyway. And back-to-back dot balls there as Emmanuel Okwalinga returns back into the attack. He's kept feeding the bat, but he will be hoping that he can skid one through to pick up another wicket, because now it may be just a matter of time. But tomorrow in the morning, Mountain Renzori and Mountain Karisimbi will be in action in the morning at this very ground. So make sure you keep it Deep End Sports Media. Too full, but that is a very good ball there coming in from Okwalinga, making sure that the edges of the bat are into play, because he saw that Malcolm Kato was not using his feet previously.
Kato trying to create room to play that ball, planting his front foot on the leg side rather than playing through the line of the ball.
Again, he doesn't know how to play that outswing from Okwalinga, and it is another dot ball. But what an over. Even if runs are not coming, at least let them not be scoring. Back dots for Okwalinga.
I told you that Malcolm Kato usually comes at the top of the batting order. Of course, you very well know this, being his manager under SSC Cricket Club, and he would find this much more to his liking, the pace. But being let down by his foot movement. Dot ball there with only one coming off Okwalinga's over. 15 overs completed, 51 for 7 so far for Mount Elgon. They won the toss, asked the Kilimanjarians to bat first, put up a formidable score, going past the past score of this oval, and came in winning both power plays, the batting, while they were batting and bowling, and now seem to be like they are putting finishing touches to this match to notch up their first victory, to join Satima as winners on day one.
Adam Muzaifa back in the attack. A glorious on drive there from Jackson Asiku. 88 more needed in 29 balls for Mountain Elgon to pick up victory. It is a tall order. It may not be something very easy. And I tell you, seeing 140 runs on board at the end of the first innings meant that somehow Mountain Kilimanjaro had something to smile for, because those runs already looked very defendable. Plays it late, a little risky, but he manages to get it out of the block hole.
You will realize that usually Asiku starts out being on strike, will pick up that one, and then when they cross over the Malcolm is pinned into till the over ends.
Beaten, no shot offered. You put the umpire in a very bad place. And the umpire confirms it's a by run.
Jackson Asiku back on strike with 3 balls to navigate from Hadam Huzaifa. A very, very quiet passage of play for the Elgonians. Runs very hard to come by. Very astute bowling from the Kilimanjaro side.
Shuffles across the stumps and is beaten by the pace, but the umpire says it could have gone down the leg. Another dot ball in the over, but when you keep playing like that, Jackson Asiku, you put an umpire in a very hard position to decide from.
I don't think it's even a hard position to be in for the umpire. It is such an easy position for them to be in. All they need to see is that that ball was going on to hit the stumps. It was bowled within the lines. And finally, a shot in anger from Jackson Asiku. Quick running there to get back on strike. And that is the way it should have been all throughout. Rather than getting off strike with a single and then leaving your partner bogged down on the other side. Balls being chewed up and nothing to show for it.
Even in the losing cause, Mountain Elgon will need to make sure that they get some runs on board. 1 more ball remaining for Adam Huzaifa to complete this over. Swinging hard but nowhere in the frame, and a dot ball. End of the over. 16 gone and 54 for a loss of 7 is what the scoreboard reads. For Mountain Elgon. The current run rate already in the 40s. This is match day 1 of the East African Safari T20 happening here at Florida Cricket Oval. A tournament organized by Mukono Cricket Community and sponsored by Deep End Sports Media, Dafabet and Kingsley Children's Medical Center. 6 teams in this one. Double round robin, a qualifier and an eliminator, then a final to culminate this tournament. Today is just match day 1. The first game was won by Mountain Satima, who beat Mountain Meru by just a mere run. A game that you would somehow have felt that it could have gone to the spur over, but in the end, Mountain Meru not holding their nerves and Satima taking the points. This is a clash between Mountain Kilimanjaro and Mountain Elgon, and tomorrow Renzori and Karisimbi will be in action. Emmanuel Okwalinga back in the attack for Mountain Kilimanjaro, coming back from the road end, and he starts off his spell with a dirty ball. I beg your pardon, the bowler is Okwalinga. Colin is there. Is another Okwalinga in the tournament, the Emmanuel guy. Both of them obis of Usoga College Mwiri. But for now, it is Colin is Okwalinga, the man nicknamed the OC.
Nicknamed OC from the initials of his names, but certainly tying down Kato on one end. Poor foot movement from him, sees him not anywhere near that ball. Gets back to ball on one of those to pick up a single. Brings Jackson Asiku on strike, having navigated 3 balls in this over.
Current run rate 24 for victory, 85 runs needed in 21. It might be a matter of time, but it is already looking game, set and match for Mountain Kilimanjaro. But now for Mountain Elgon, they need to make sure that they come a little closer to make sure that even in the losing cause, they get somewhere close.
The required rate being a mammoth 24.9 per over. Even the best of them would find it hard. But Malcolm Kato and Jackson Asiku still there at the crease.
Bowling it with the wrist. A Google like a ball, a Google like cutter. But it is another dotty ball. One more ball remaining for Okwalinga to wrap up his spell. He's so far gone for 10 runs in 3.5 overs. He is still wicketless, but he's been bowling good areas. And I think some of these positives are very much needed for Mountain Kilimanjaro to carry forward in their upcoming games. Malcolm Kato 2 of 13, Jackson Asiku 25 of 27. One more to play in this 17th over of this game. And now Okwalinga no longer running, he's even walking. Because he doesn't see any reason as why he would waste most of his energy, yet he has some more games to play. But that dot ball will bring us to the end of the 17th over. 56 for 7 is what the scoreboard reads for Mount Kilimanjaro. I beg your pardon, for Mount Elgon. Tomorrow morning we'll be having another exciting clash happening between Mountain Renzori and Mountain Karisimbi. So make sure that you keep it Deep End Sports Media. Turn on notifications so that when there is any upcoming event, you do not miss out. This tournament will be running till the end of this month, when we will be having the group stages ending, and then as soon as June starts, we will be having the knockouts. Huzaifa back in the attack. Any inside out shot there from Jackson Asiku to score a boundary, welcoming one, and help his side go into the 60s.
A bit full from Huzaifa Adam. And wide plays through that one, finding the gap, past covers.
Inside out, but this time round elevation and not distance. The fielders running around it, miscommunication, and a chance for Asiku to pick up the second.
You feel that to Jackson Asiku, he feels this is the time to go, add to their total, at least finish in the 90s, if possible.
Yeah, it is good there for Jackson Asiku. He is thinking of making sure that he reduces on that losing margin, because net run rate will come into play later on in this tournament. Another full toss, but it is judged no ball by the umpire, and a chance for Jackson Asiku to capitalize and get some more runs. Adam Huzaifa has been trying so many things in this over which is not needed for his teammates, and they are trying to make sure that they tell him not to keep becoming costly for them, because they know that net run rate will be into play for them. Mountain Kilimanjaro take the points, but with a better net run rate. But for now, it is a free hit. Pace of ball and dirty ball. Not sure what Jackson Asiku was thinking. A ball for hitting anywhere goes unpunished.
Good comeback there from Huzaifa. Darting in the body line of Jackson Asiku, unable, and cramps it for space, unable to put it away.
From the inside edge of the bat, and another dot ball, it nearly rolled onto, but brilliant work there by Jackson Asiku. He knows that Huzaifa is pitching it backward of the length, so if you make a shimmy down the track, you can easily cream it through the cover area. A quiet passage of play for the Mountain Elgon batters. Plays it down the ground, but it will find a waiting Peter Ochen at long off, and just a single for them.
The Mount Kilimanjaro side not being quite generous. At one point you talked about seeing off the more accomplished bowlers, but it seems that everyone came to the party this afternoon. An overball from Huzaifa. Kato Malcolm keeps it out, and that will be over. 18 completed, 68 runs for the loss of 7. Kato Malcolm 2 in 15. Jackson Asiku 36 in 33. Huzaifa Adams completes his allotted 4, picking up just 1 wicket for 22 runs.
2 more overs remaining in this game. Ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you're catching this tournament, this is match day number 1 of the East African Safari T20. 6 teams in this tournament, all picking names from the different mountains that we do have in East Africa. Mountain Meru, Mountain Elgon, Mountain Renzori, Mountain Karisimbi, Mount Kilimanjaro and Mount Satima. But now, Jovan Komagom changing bowling ends to look for a different fortune. He will be bowling. Oh, sorry, that is not Jovan Komagom. That is Raymond Kagera, who is into the attack for the first time in this game to bowl the penultimate over of the game. He is a medium, but he's bowling spin. Beautiful hit there from Jackson Asiku, welcoming Raymond Kagera, who is bowling some googlies, some loose googlies here, and it is an inside-out shot.
Kagera, of course, a pacer by trade, but nothing to trouble their side, and he's decided to play spin. No run there from Jackson Asiku, opting to retain strike.
Raymond Kagera, another player for Africa Cricket Club and a student at St. John's High School, Kauga. But not a very good start for him. A little loose and it is a hit, but there is a waiting fielder. Misjudged as that one goes all the way for a maximum. They needed an over target, and now this Raymond Kagera over has been an over for Jackson Asiku to enjoy.
Balled wide of the stumps, onto his knee quickly, and deposits that above the head of the man at cow corner. Maximum for Jackson Asiku, whose strike rate has been quite good in this innings.
He plays it late, but he misses. It was right in the arc, and it is a dot ball for Raymond Kagera. Wicket time, and look at the celebration there from Raymond Kagera, saluting the fans who are telling Jackson Asiku take him on. And what I love about his celebration, he salutes the fans and tells Jackson Asiku that you belong to the dugout. Asiku missing a run, missing a half century by just 4 runs. What a way to see him off.
An ego shot there from Jackson Asiku, having missed out on the previous one, going for all power and money, unable to collect that ball, going for the sweep, slog sweep, but unable to make contact. Waited for it, but right within the slot, his legs and arms and the head all over the place. Kagera gets his man for his first wicket.
Yeah, brilliant there from Raymond Kagera. He went for 4 and 6, but he kept a calm head to make sure that he sees off Jackson Asiku. Well, Jackson Asiku's career has come to an end, but he's contributed, out of the 48 runs, he's contributed 46. And now Mulindwa Christian is the new batter in. Final ball of the penultimate. A loose one down the leg, and it is wide. Not sure what Raymond Kagere was thinking at that time. $79 for 8 after 18.5. Hit down the ground, but no run is taken. A dot ball to wrap up the penultimate, and 79 for 8 is the score after 19. Mountain Karisimbi and Mountain Renzori will be in action tomorrow in the morning. So for the fans who love watching youth cricket, make sure that you keep it Deep End Sports Media, because these games will be coming your way. 61 in 6 balls. It will be a miracle of very big margin if Mountain Elgon defies odds and picks up victory. But Austin Mujuni will be bowling the final over for this innings, and the match will be coming in from the Forest End.
6 Lego balls will see us complete this match. Change of bowling ends for Augustine Mujuni, coming in now from the Forest End. Robert Owili brings the men closer into the circle. Starts off with a dot ball, and Kato Malcolm, guilty of slicing his bat when he goes to play forward and not presenting the full face, so that most of the times, even when he's closer to the ball, he is missing, because his bat is always pointing, the face of his bat is always pointing to covers and point, other than back down to the bowler and getting his full body behind the ball. Robert Owili stepping up to the wicket. And it is 2 dot balls. That should be wide from Augustine Mujuni. Dot ball from Augustine Mujuni. 3 balls with 60 runs required makes this a gigantic task for the men from Mount Elgon. But Kato Malcolm able to find the gap, picks up 1. Brings Mulindwa Malcolm onto strike, yet to get off the mark. 2 balls to navigate. And another dot ball. Such an anticlimactic finish to the innings from the men in the pink and blue of Mount Elgon. Mujuni delaying the inevitable for Mount Elgon, straying wide. And we'll have to bowl that one again. With the last ball, they managed to pick up two for Mulindwa Christian. 84 runs for the loss of 8 in the allotted 20 overs for Mount Elgon. Mount Kilimanjaro wins by 55 runs to notch up their first victory in this East African Safari T20 Cup 2026. A well-crafted first innings. Robert Owili led 45 in 30 balls, ably supported by Ochen and Opendimunji. But the spoils go to Mount Kilimanjaro. Coming up will be the scorecard and post-match presentation. My name is Solomon Lubwamachigos, and I have been with Ivan Cyprian Sajabi.
morning and welcome to the post-match presentation of the second game on match day number 1 of the East African Safari T20 Cup here at Florida Cricket Oval. Mountain Kilimanjaro has won this game by 55 runs, but let me invite the captain for Mountain Elgon. Tell me what might have gone wrong in the game. Hard luck about when in this game. What might have gone wrong for you in the team?
We bowled so poorly and we ended up giving out so many extras. So we faltered in between that. So we lost the game from the power play. We gave away a lot of runs in the power play. That's where we lost the game from.
And your run chase?
Our run chase, we gave away a few wickets freely to the other side. They had a good bowling attack, which was good for them. Our bowling side was a little bit shaky. We didn't have so many pace bowlers. We are more of a spinning side. So, yeah, they used their chances very well.
What do you hope to do better going forward in the tournament?
Well, in the next tournament, in the next game, we hope to keep batting well. Every time we're given the chance to bat fast. And then when it comes to bowling, at least restrict them to a chaseable score.
Hard luck and go well.
Thank you.
Let me invite the captain for Mountain Kilimanjaro to tell him what he might have done right in the game. Congratulations, Robert, upon winning this game. What did you do well in the power play during your batting innings and your fielding innings?
Thank you. Of course, like I said in the start, we had a target of 150, but our batsmen came in. Of course, the two opening batsmen, I and Okema, we gave them a good start. Though we lagged in the middle and slowed down the runs, but at least in the end we managed to set 140, and we only got less by 10 runs, I think, which is not so bad for the beginning.
Congratulations and all the best. And now the player of match, a man who picked up 4 wickets during that run, his defense, Giovanni Komagom, will take that one. And to give out the award is Lydia Hope, our manager in this tournament. Congratulations, Jovan, upon winning the Player of Match award. What did you do different in terms of bowling compared to the rest of the team?
I was following my captain's bowling statistics of bowling wicket to wicket. That's what made me to get all those wickets. Yeah.
Yes. Still bowling in this tournament. What do you hope to do better?
I hope to get more wickets.
Thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
Well, we've come to the end of the post-match presentation. Tomorrow action continues, and in the morning, Mountain Renzori will take on Mountain Karesembe. Make sure you keep it Deep End Sports Media.